Michel Foucault's idea of biopolitics and biopower. Michel Foucault, a highly influential philosopher and social theorist, introduced the ideas of biopolitics and biopower to help us understand how power operates in modern societies. These concepts might seem complicated at first, but they become clearer when we break them down into simpler terms. Foucault's work on these topics focuses on the ways governments and other institutions exercise control over populations, not just by laws and rules but by managing our lives in ways we might not even notice. First, let us talk about power. For Foucault, power is not just about kings, presidents, or leaders forcing their will on others. Instead, power is everywhere, shaping how people act and think. It is not something one person or group simply has, it flows through relationships and institutions like schools, hospitals, workplaces, and even families. Foucault was especially interested in how power changes over time. In earlier societies, rulers used power mostly through fear, punishments, and visible displays of force, like public executions. However, modern power is subtler and more focused on influencing how people behave and think. Biopower is one of the key ways this modern form of power works. The word of bio refers to life, so biopower is about the ways power is used to regulate and control life itself. Rather than focusing on individuals, biopower looks at populations. This includes things like birth rates, death rates, health, education, and productivity. Governments, scientists, and other authorities use biopower to collect data about people and then use that data to make decisions that affect society as a whole. For example, governments track population growth to decide how many schools or hospitals a city needs. While this can lead to helpful policies, it also means that our lives are being managed in ways we might not always realize or agree with. Biopolitics is closely related to biopower. If biopower is the way power operates on populations, biopolitics is the broader strategy or set of techniques used to manage populations. Biopolitics includes things like public health campaigns, urban planning, and even the way governments handle pandemics. These actions are often presented as being in the best interest of society, but Foucault asks us to think critically about who benefits the most from these decisions and what they mean for individual freedom. Take public health as an example. When governments launch campaigns encouraging people to eat healthy or exercise, it might seem like they are just helping citizens live better lives. But these campaigns also shape what is considered normal or healthy and create pressure on people to conform to those standards. If you do not fit into these norms, you might feel judged or excluded. In this way, biopolitics influences how we see ourselves and others. Foucault also talked about how biopolitics connects to economics. In modern societies, people are often seen not just as individuals but as resources for the economy. This is why governments invest in education and healthcare. They want citizens to be productive workers. However, this focus on productivity can lead to problems. For example, people who cannot work due to illness or disability might be treated as less valuable or even as a burden. Foucault encourages us to question these assumptions and think about the deeper implications of policies that prioritize economic goals over human dignity. Another important point Foucault makes is about surveillance. In modern societies, we are constantly being observed, whether it is through security cameras, data collection, or even social norms that make us monitor our own behavior. This kind of surveillance is a key part of biopower. It does not rely on force or threats. Instead, it makes people feel like they need to follow the rules all the time because they might be watched. This creates a society where people police themselves, often without even realizing it. One of Foucault's most famous examples of biopower is the management of sexuality. He showed how modern societies have turned sex into something that is studied, categorized, and controlled. In earlier times, discussions about sex were often taboo, but modern societies talk about it a lot, especially in scientific and medical terms. This might seem like progress, but Foucault argues that it is another way for power to shape our lives. By defining what is normal or healthy in terms of sexuality, society puts pressure on people to conform to those standards, often marginalizing those who do not fit. Foucault's ideas about biopower and biopolitics are especially relevant in today's world. Think about how governments and organizations collect data about us, from the apps on our phones to the websites we visit. This data is often used to make decisions about how to run societies, but it also raises questions about privacy and control. Are these systems really working for the benefit of everyone, or are they mainly serving the interests of a few powerful groups? Foucault does not give us easy answers, but his work encourages us to think critically about these issues. He wants us to see the hidden ways power operates in our lives and to question whether those systems are fair. By understanding biopower and biopolitics, we can become more aware of the forces shaping our behavior and start thinking about how to create a society that values freedom and dignity for everyone. If you found this explanation helpful, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps us create more content that breaks down complex ideas in simple and engaging ways. Share your thoughts in the comments, and let us know what topics you would like us to cover next. Thank you for watching.